G'day, how are you? It's been a while. I'm having issues with my computer program. So, getting back to standing in your own power. It is time that we used our brain so we can practice independence of thought and contemplation so we don't fall into the trap of believing everything we hear or discounting it before understanding and accepting it may just be someone else's truth. For example, I was listening to Robin Hyatt recently, and she was saying that someone is out there saying that the seraphim, that people are seraphim and things like that. And she's saying, no, you can't be a seraphim. The human body couldn't cope, and you'd light up, you'd burst into flame. Well, I don't really understand that, and it was all a bit too much for me to take in. But the thing is that we can develop our own truth, not just be riding on the coattails of someone else's truth. Just because someone tells you something doesn't mean that it is. So, and Greg Braden, yeah, is another one. I don't mind listening to his stuff. It's really quite nice and spiritual. But I watched one a couple of months ago where he was saying that Jesus learned all his information because they were forced to burn all these books, and he read the books before he burnt them, and that's how he got his information. And I'm like, how do we know that? So you don't want to just believe everything you hear. That may be someone else's truth, but it wasn't mine. I didn't take too much notice of it. So just because I heard it by people that I presume are trustworthy doesn't mean it's my truth, and it may not be yours either. So I personally think it's really important to balance the scale in regards to spirituality and reality, and how to bring both together in a balanced way to ground yourself in the here and now. Right? That to me is more important. So drawing from both within and transforming it into your power. So take confidence in yourself, and it's important not to compare yourself to others while you're developing. We all have dark and light within, and we need to find the balance. So for example, light is what we aspire to be. Kind and forgiving and loving to self and others. My notes. But you don't want to become someone's doormat at the same time. Hence, the dark is also a power to be reckoned with and channeled when we need to stand our ground. So it's something to be used when necessary and not abused. But it's not bad. It's, some people think, oh, get rid of the dark. Sometimes we need the dark within ourselves. You've got to balance the light and dark. So forgiveness comes with understanding that your expectations of others and self are sometimes not fulfilled. So long as we aspire to be higher level souls, that's the most important thing. Others may not be as far along as you. And sometimes vice versa. It just is what it is. Understanding this allows us to let go of outcomes and not hold on to any animosity. So it's time for us to back ourselves and rise. Your self-belief, your self-forgiveness and kindness to self counts big time. If you're struggling with emotions, a powerful tool is to transform negative emotions. So you can transform a negative emotion at the time into a positive purpose. So it may require practice and leaving out individuals in your future. For example, people who have dealt with, say, childhood abuse may transform their negative emotions into a power by giving themselves a purpose to make sure it doesn't happen to others. And this can be done on a large scale, on a small scale, in all sorts of different ways if you're struggling with negative emotions. So, to simplify, remember, negative emotion can be transformed into a powerful, purposeful energy and be used positively. It's a thought process that often comes in hindsight, but with self-discipline and practice, you may catch yourself with perfect timing in the future. Learning to turn negative emotion into positive, creative energy is a great tool to have in your toolbox. As with most tools in our toolkit, once we have mastered using them, it becomes natural. We forget what we've learnt because we naturally use it when the time arises. And we struggle less with negative emotions when this happens. So it's really important to back yourself and have the courage to make the necessary change. That was just one thing that I thought was important, and I was actually able to help someone recently that had very negative emotions, and in a time of their turmoil, even just stating that they could do this helped them, calmed them down, and they thought, oh yeah, and so it created a thought space for them that they weren't aware of before, and they were able to change their negative emotion into a positive thought and change their train of thought. So I just thought this is something really important. I haven't been here for a while. I don't have the financial backing to fix problems that I've got, so the ministry is just more of a hobby now, but I will continue with it, and hopefully I'll get my computer programs fixed. But it was costing me $60 a pop to have it fixed because my computers automatically put cutting off my camera and that, and saying the privacy settings and all this sort of thing. It's beyond me. I'm not computer literate at all. So I do the best that I can, and I hope this helps someone out there. And I'll catch you again another time. Bye.